What's up, nerds? It's me, the OGGM Cat. Just reminding you, I'm still around. I'm still cute. I'm still fluffy. I still want you to subscribe to the OGGM's vlog so he stops using us cats. Hello and welcome. It's Friday. And as you know, on Fridays, we just sort of goof around and don't really have any rhyme or reason to what we talk about. We found a list, and I always love these lists because, usually they're awful, but occasionally they get something right. So here we have the best villains from D&D. As always, this is from CBR, Comic Book Resources. And as always, usually you can read these and go, the person who wrote this probably doesn't actually play. But we'll see. All right, number 10, Xanther. If you don't know who Xanther is the beholder of Xanther's Guide to Everything. He's the one with the goldfish. He's sort of a quirky beholder crime lord. He is not the first beholder to use the name Xanther. There's a lot of speculation that the current Xanther is not the original Xanther. It's another beholder that killed off Xanther. But he's a beholder that has tried to start multiple criminal organizations and tried to become a lord of Waterdeep and some other stuff. And he's very quirky. He's got a goldfish. So just that reason alone is reason enough to love him, just because he has a goldfish. Is he one of the best villains in D&D? He's definitely one of the most interesting. Beholder crime lord. He features heavily in the Waterdeep stuff, but I don't know if he's one of the best. Number 9, Acererak. Gleefully evil. I would think that Acererak would rate higher as one of the best villains in D&D, considering he's been called the iconic Lich. Acererak, of course, famous for Tomb of Horrors, Tomb of Annihilation. He is a Lich who goes around making dungeons across the multiverse for fun and just to see how awful he can be. He tests his dungeons on player characters, So he's infamous for creating horrific death traps just for fun, and of course for the whole Tomb of Annihilation death curse thing. Baron Valshafak, Valkovich, who is from Curse of Strad. He is a individual from Ravenloft. I guess he's iconic to Ravenloft, but for the rest of Dungeons & Dragons, I don't really think so. I've never even heard of him, so he's a tyrannical lord of a town in one of the Ravenloft demi-planes. Yeah, no, I disagree with that one. Elixion. Elixion is the character from Call of the Netherdeep, which I have been going through and consider one of, if not the worst adventures ever written. Yeah, we've had a few encounters with his ghost. Is he one of the most iconic villains in D&D? One of the best villains? God, no. He's pathetic. It's a pathetic villain in a pathetic adventure. The Calisanters. The Calisanters are villains from Waterdeep Dragon Heights. They're a family that are manipulating stuff in town and doing evil stuff. And no. Not even close. No, I'm sorry. Tiamat. Tiamat, of course, is one of the best villains in D&D. Oh my God, so many adventures based around her. She started a TV show. She's got figures. Joe Montio is in love with her. Geez, God, Tiamat, yes. I think she would rate, yes. But number 5, she should rate higher. Tiamat, wow. Tiamat's a greater threat than Acererak. Yes, definitely. Tiamat is a much more active threat. Just Tiamat rocks. Oriel. Oriel is the villain from Rime of the Frost Maiden. She is a goddess of winter. Considering how little love / reactions Rime of the Frostmaiden gets, I would not rate her as one of the best villains in D&D history. Yeah, no. Zariel. Zariel is the villainess from Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. She's a leftover from a paladin in Hell. Again, yeah, no, I wouldn't rate her as one of the best D&D villains. Jarlaxia. Jarlaxia is a drow that came out of the Drizzt stuff. He's got a hat of holding. He's one of the villains in Waterdeep Dragon's Heist. He's featured a lot in the Drizzt books and R.A. Salvatore stuff, but is he one of the best villains in D&D? No. Strad. Is Strad the number one villain in D&D? Of course, completely no. I mean, Strad is definitely a iconic villain, but is he the best villain in D&D history? No. He's powerful, but only in one specific situation. You only ever run into Strad in one place. He's not a multiversal threat like Tiamat or Acererak. You know who's missing from this list? Yeah, I would say Vecna would rate way higher than Strad on list of villains. How about Orcus? The demon god of terror and the undead. Or Baal. Yeah, there's so many other villains from D&D history that I would rate higher than this. Acererak, I wouldn't even put on the list. Zariel, nope. Ariel, nope. Tiamat, yes. The Caslantras, nope. Elixion, no. He's just a whiny, mopey, emo ghost. Baron Valshafak, no. Acererak, yes. Xanther, maybe. I mean, I'd keep Xanther at the list, but I keep him at 10. I would move Acererak down to like 3. Lord Soth, where's Lord Soth? I mean, if we're just doing, Ravenloft / Dragonlance villains who are only specific to one setting, what about Soth, the original Death Knight? Strad would definitely be on their list, but I wouldn't put him at 1. I'd put Vecna or Orcus at number 1. I mean, who's the greatest threat to the D&D multiverse as villains goes? It's, either Acererak or Vecna, because their plots are always multiversal. They both appear in multiple adventures, multiple settings, multiple universes. I mean, you can't go through D&D without at least hearing the mention of the hand and eye of Vecna. There's so many adventures based around Vecna. Rime of the Frost Maiden and the mysterious Black Obelisk were all supposed to lead to a Vecna storyline, which they never did, except, of course, we know that our friends over at DM's Guild made the worst possible Forgotten Realms timeline adventure, which does follow through with all the plot threads that have been, broadcasted over all the 5e products since day one, and the mysterious Black Obelisk. And that was all supposed to lead to a major Vecna storyline that never happened. So if you're familiar with the, Fall of the Forgotten Realms adventure series, which I've done videos on, then yeah, these guys did a thing where they were like, yeah, this was all supposed to lead to Vecna, so where's Vecna? So I would rate, Acererak and Vecna in the top 5. Orcus, Jubilex, those guys would rate, Strad would be on the list, but he wouldn't be number 1. Lord Soth, there's better villains. So yeah, top 10 villains who aren't the top 10 villains. I'm a better villain than some of these guys. Anyways, it's a list. We like to do lists on Fridays because there's, not else much going on. I have noticed that somebody is still farming my content without giving me any recognition and, doing the whole, shit. Look, if you can't come up with your own ideas and you need to farm my content, fine. I don't care. I've said that. Support me, Coke. YouTube is public domain. At least just give me credit, dude. Otherwise, just sort of pathetic. Anyways, that's a list. If you agree with the list, let me know. If you don't agree with the list, let me know. Is there a villain from D&D they left out? There probably is. Who do you think is the most iconic D&D villain? Is it Vecna? Is it Strad? Is it Tiamat? Is it Acererak? Am I saying that right? I don't know. Have a great Friday.